Hello again. I think third and final video for the day. I've got some stuff I've got to do. Anyways, on to the video list. But yeah, Housesitter, Steve Martin, Goldie Hawn. I think I paid what, $4.99 for that? Yep. I paid $5 for this. That's okay. I love this movie. Anything with Steve Martin, I'll pay any price for Steve Martin. I love the guy. Love his movies. This one I kind of bought on blind faith because I vaguely remember one of his specials being funny. This is my only stand-up comedy Laserdisc. I'd love to have more stand-up comedy Laserdiscs. But I never see them for sale online. I never see them in any stores, except for this one copy. And this one cost me $1.50 at the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store. The one here sells their Laserdiscs for $1.50. The one in Gig Harbor, they say they sell them for $2.95, but every time I walk in there and buy them, they just charge me 25 cents for it. When they have them. Both of those places very rarely get them in. Although I'm really tempted next paycheck to go in and buy all the Selectivision discs at St. Vincent de Paul. There's about 50 of them. So at $1.50 each, they cost me $75, and I had an installation of Selectivision. Like I said, I wanted to get those for my museum. I probably wouldn't bother getting much more than that initial bit, but just to say I have some. Plus, it will force me to buy a Selectivision player. I actually passed on a Selectivision player for $25 at the thrift store. I should have bought it. I should have. There's just not much to the back of this one. Just a quick synopsis. The resolution on this webcam isn't good enough to show you any of the details, really. This... Oh. Hold on a second. This is for you, Sam Hatch. I 100% agree. Always take shrink wrap off. I don't know how I missed that one. Alrighty. Raiders of the Lost Ark pan and scan version. I have this in widescreen as well. But I love the artwork on the original release of these. And I will admit, the fact that the shrink wrap on it makes it look like it was new, but there's some discoloration on it because of the shrink wrap. There's like it almost looks like the shrink wrap is still on it a little bit. It's really hard to see on this camera. But I'm sure Sam knows what I'm talking about there. But yes, just some along the edge here. Now it's clean. But yes, Raiders of the Lost Ark. My second favorite Indiana Jones movie. First favorite being Temple of Doom, which is also the only one I don't have on Laserdisc. And if anybody says, but what about it doesn't exist? Okay. So, this is rather interesting. It's another educational video. I mean, literally it says the Educational Video Group, and it's a two-part. It's the first of a set. So I would love to get the rest. If anybody knows where I can find some of these, or if anybody has some of these, I'd be willing to trade. I have some very rare stuff. Most of it's not here yet. Most of it's arriving. And some of it I paid a lot of money for. But, I want these. Because we've got The Dawn of Man and Side B, The Great Dinosaur Hunt. This is a really interesting documentary series. I'd like to have the whole thing. It's called The Infinite Voyage. And I actually remember seeing this in middle school? I don't know. It doesn't say when it came out. It doesn't have any information on it at all. It's just got the disc. That's it. It's just the disc. And a nice slip sleeve that just has information on video discount. That's all the information I have on this thing. I haven't been able to find much on it. So if anybody knows, I'd appreciate it. Hold on. I just lost one of my major light sources. I'm sure you can see that. Where is that mouse? There we go. It's the LED across the room, the TV. This, you're all probably going to look at me like, what is wrong with you? Oh no. This was factory sealed, and it got got a little nicked here on the corner. Yeah, I kind of want to watch this one, so I think I'll go ahead and open it. So, you guys are going to see me open a sealed Laserdisc today. What a treat, huh? But this one, I don't think I'll ever open. I don't think anybody else will ever open either. This is my first music disc, believe it or not. $2 free shipping. The guy literally paid me $1.12 to send it to me. It's got sorry. I love this band. Kintaro. It is the World Tour 1990, live in Japan. And since the shrink wrap is damaged, we're going to go ahead and open it. And we're going to do a Michael Delgado and sniff the 90s air. This is 1990 air. Oh yeah, 1990s air. Oh, that's amazing. Every time I do that, I'll sometimes buy sealed lasers just to open the damn things. Oh, yeah, that brings back memories. And oh, look at this. Oh, those are gorgeous liner notes. Oh, wow. It's a translation of the songs, the stories that they sing. Look at that. I didn't know that was in there. That is an awesome surprise. And then we have, of course, the disc. I'll go ahead and let you get a look at the case out of the shrink. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Look at that. I'm going to spin this sucker up later today, now that I had to open it. It was completely sealed. I guess popping it up on my shelf, the corner caught on something, and oh well, I had to open it. But you guys got to see me do it. So we've got that excellent little, I like it because, I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love bits of paper. I'm weird like that. I love finding catalog pages and liner notes and just fucking advertisement bits of paper inside of these things. It just makes me so happy. Let's go ahead and look at a brand new, never before touched by human hands, once sealed Laserdisc. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. It's gorgeous. It's one-sided, oddly enough. I mean, it's got a dead side, but they put it all on one side. It was only 55 minutes. So I'm not sure why they didn't do it CAV. But, well, I guess having to flip the disc halfway through the program would probably affect the flow of the program. So now that I think about it, I don't know why they did it. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. I love the Pioneer Artist discs, too, because I love the logo. Just that blue Pioneer logo and Pioneer Artist. It's classy. It also is very obvious when you're digging through Laserdisc piles or vinyl piles, because I have seen so many of these music discs mislabeled as LPs, and I don't generally buy them because I'm not that really into music discs, or I wasn't until I watched Laserdiscotheque Volume 3, and I heard about everybody's picks for music discs, and learned that there's MC Hammer music discs, and I'm like, okay. Of course, I left a snide comment about how I have a sealed Kenny G. Interestingly enough, I had a mix-up with PayPal just a couple of days ago. I can go ahead and tell you guys about it now, because it's mostly resolved. I ordered a sealed copy of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. I was so happy. I snuck in there, snagged the auction, got it for $6.99 plus ship. $11 total. I was just pleased as punch. There was another auction I lost for Pink Floyd The Wall from the same seller. I think you see where I'm going with this. I got Pink Floyd's Wall. Somebody else got my copy of Mad Max. Like the seller said, he already left me very positive feedback and is ignoring me, so he's not going to be giving that back. And he made the suggestion, well, I'll send you another Laserdisc free of charge. So that works for me. So I'm going to get a free bonus Laserdisc. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know if he's going to tell me or if I'm going to be finding out when it arrives. But I'll do a video about that for you guys. But the good news is he's one of those sellers who includes a bonus disc with the sale. In this case, just a rotted disc that he can't sell. I don't mind if a disc is rotted as long as it's still watchable. And in this case, it is. It's Styx live in concert, Caught in the Act. The Stygian album. My favorite Styx album from my favorite band. So I'm like, okay, I'm not mad. That's why I sent him a really nice thing, I'm not mad. This isn't what I ordered, but I'm kind of happy with it. And then but I did point out after I found the other auction that this guy paid half as much as I did. So I'm like, I'm just a little annoyed that, this guy paid half of what I did and got my item. So then he offered the disc and everything's good. This is why I like eBay. I've gotten screwed over a couple of times, but to make up for that, I had somebody send me 25 free Laserdiscs due to a fuck-up on a really big order. Yeah, they'll be arriving on Monday. I don't know what's in that box. We'll find out. It's going to be a surprise. You guys get to see it. It'll be fun. But back to the discs in this pile, because I've gotten off on a tangent again. The Land Before Time. My third favorite Don Bluth movie. My first favorite is one that's arriving in a lot of Disney movies I ordered. Yeah, think about that for a minute. Disney movies. All Dogs Go to Heaven is not a Disney movie. But it looks like a Disney movie, so I kind of understand why it was included accidentally in that lot. I'm not going to complain, though. Was this one? No, I paid $3.99 for this. And it is in absolutely horrendous shape. This was owned by a child. The case is wrinkled, discolored, the bottom's almost broken off, the top's almost broken off. You can't even read the title on the side anymore. The disc is... my God, look at this. The disc is missing the front label. You can visibly see the oxidation beginning to eat through the center of the disc. But that's actually not laser rot, not technically laser rot. That is just, that happens at the center spindle of these discs a lot. It's the friction force causes the glue to melt, and you get these burned-looking inclusions. But, they've got a full 2 inches of travel before they actually touch the data on the disc, and I've yet to see 90% of my discs have this flaw. And I'm sure if you look carefully, and sometimes you have to peel the label off to see it, but I guarantee you 90% of your discs have it too. It's a nature of the beast. That is the wear that Laserdiscs undergo. They'll eventually, after a certain number of plays, they'll start to separate. They're glued together. It's as simple as that. There's no such thing as forever. But I will tell you, out of all of the video formats, up to and including DVD and Blu-ray, this is the most durable and will be the longest lasting. It'll probably be around long after Blu-rays and DVDs are gone for 2 reasons. One, being an analog format, a big old scratch isn't going to stop it playing. It'll definitely affect the playback, and sometimes it'll get laser locked, but you'll be able to skip past it. A DVD, that's not always the case. Blu-ray, same thing, not always the case. Blu-ray scratches are even worse because of the extreme data density. That's the other thing, is the data density on these are very, very low. I mean, lower than you can imagine. You can see with your naked eye the pits and grooves on these discs if you look real closely on them. I mean, you can't see the details, but you can see the way that the light reflects. You can see the pits and grooves. Kind of like if you look really close on a vinyl, you can see the pit, that the analog pit. So they don't have any kind of error correction, but they don't need error correction. It reads right through errors. So you've got that, and then the size. DVDs, Blu-rays, they're easy to lose. These are pretty hard to lose, especially something big and bulky like this guy, which honestly should have been a gatefold, but it's not. Come on, it's the Lawnmower Man. And this is... It's very, very faded. But the date is not... Yes, this is one of the legendary 99. 99 cents for this. I mean, look at the condition. It's got a couple of dings on the corner here, and a couple of dings here. Other than that, it's pristine. So I'd say this would be a very good rated disc if I was selling it, which I'm not. Unless I get a worse looking copy. And the thing is, it's the unrated director's cut. So it's got a couple extra minutes, and I love it. One of the better Stephen King adaptations, by the way. This, one of my all-time favorite movies. You'll hear me say that a lot. I have a lot of favorite movies. Deal with it. Sorry, I had to pull that out of the case. I don't know why I have it in a case. It's not in that great a shape, but Legend, the American release. This was hard to find. Everybody and their uncle has the Japanese release, but I'm probably the only person that prefers this release for nostalgia purposes, because I saw this as a child. And of course, as a child living in the United States in the 90s, the only form that this existed in for me was this. The cut version, the cut down version with the Tangerine Dream score. And there's big differences. Big differences between these two movies. I mean, there's only a few minor cuts. But, yeah. There's only a few minor cuts, but this thing is just, I don't know. It's actually kind of hard to describe. Those minor cuts change the entire flow of the story, the outcome of the story, and greatly diminish the tension in the film, which is, I think, why it flopped. In fact, there's one scene that if I had left it in would have increased the dramatic tension in this movie an order of magnitude and made the whole thing better, which was the fight with... whatever the main elf's name is. Gump, that's it. He had a fight with Gump in the international version that he didn't have here. Not a fight, but, a contest. And in this one, he just like, but I did it for love. And then Gump's like, well, okay. I'm like, God, I don't remember it being that cheesy as a kid. And, the international version. The international movie is better. And I love the Jerry Goldsmith score, but it doesn't have any nostalgia for me. It's like watching a movie that was released last year. It's a movie. Great. I like it. It's good. I'll watch it again. This, on the other hand, although is an inferior presentation of that movie, I prefer the soundtrack because I love Tangerine Dream. You don't like it? Too bad. But this is the one that hits my nostalgia button and just punches it over and over and over again. It doesn't matter how many times I watch this version of the movie. Especially the ending. It's just so happy. And although it's lost due to technical difficulties, I had a whole spiel about why I preferred Hollywood-style endings. Not that it was anything wrong with, the twist ending. It's just like, I watch movies to escape from reality. I don't need reality, which is the twist ending. There's nothing special about a twist ending in a movie. That's life. That's what would actually happen. See, the happy ending is the extraordinary thing. That requires a suspension of disbelief because happy endings do not happen in real life. It's just a fact. I mean, look at the world around you. You'll see somebody who's happy, but it's not a happy ending because that's not the ending. There's no such thing as an ending in life, not until you actually die. So I never understood leaving a movie with a bad ending. Like, I'll never watch anything by Sam Raimi again, which is sad because my absolute favorite movie of all time until recently was Army of Darkness. But I watched Drag Me to Hell recently, and I'll never watch anything by Sam Raimi again. Ever. Boycott. I'll never pay for anything for him, and I hope he never makes anything again. Yeah. Watch the end of that movie, and then watch the beginning of that movie, and try to correlate. There's no justification for that movie. It is... just wrong. And I'm a firm believer in multiple universe theory, which technically means that somewhere, sometime, that actually happened to somebody. Kind of a fridge horror mindfuck there, if you think about it. Just don't dive too deep into quantum theory, because then you start getting into supersymmetry and multiple universe theory, and with the recent Discovery of the weight of the Higgs boson turns out they're both true. There's a multiple universes, and this particular universe is supersymmetric. So we're just doubly effed. Anyways. Bam. Lethal Weapon. This, I think, is the original pressing. Yes. Oddly enough, came out the same year as pressed the same year the movie came out in theaters, which is really odd, especially for this time period. Usually it was a full year later. But yes, Lethal Weapon. This is actually my favorite of the quadrilogy. And it's the least amusing. It's a serious movie. It's not a funny movie. Sorry, I have a text. Okay. Oh, and Godfather just shipped. Wait, it's Sunday. How can it... Oh, I must have just filled out the label. Anyways, so I have the first three Lethal Weapons, but my other two copies are widescreen, so they're not actually in this bundle yet. So you'll notice that some of my things are separate, even though they're a trilogy or whatever. This is for you, Sam Hatch. I found another one that I missed. Some of these I haven't touched in a couple of years, other than to move them from between shelf to shelf, so some of them still have their wrap on them. And I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. This I love. National Geographic. Anything National Geographic I love. And I paid $3.99 for this one. Oddly enough, this may well be one of my first Laserdiscs now that I'm looking at it. Oh, wait, no. This is one that my friend Adam gave me, because I was not collecting that far back. This was purchased in 2012, and I've only been collecting since 2014. So, yeah, this is one that Adam gave me, my friend. And it's in amazing condition. It's got a little bit of edge wear here. Other than that, it's just perfect. Especially the spine. Look at that. You can actually read it perfectly. It's just gorgeous. And I'm a big Japanophile. Living Treasures of Japan. It's a freaking National Geographic documentary on Japanese artists. The soon-to-be lost, and at this point now lost, because all the people featured in this pretty much have died. Because they're all like, they were the last of their trains, essentially. That's why they're called the Living Treasures of Japan. And this was made in 1980, so I very much doubt any of them are still around. Which actually means this is a really, oh no, this was pressed in 88. Okay. But still. And it's one-sided extended play. It's only 60 minutes, so instead of putting it on two CAV sides, they put it on one CLV side. It seems like stupid, but believe it or not, it actually costs more to master two sides than to master one side, because the blank sides, they're already mastered. You just press a copy of it. They're cheaper to produce than to split the two sides. So there's a lot of that going around. If you ever wonder why they did that, that's why. It was actually cheaper to go ahead and use a blank side and press a CLV side than to press two CAV sides, because both of those CAV sides would need their own glass master. And those glass masters were pretty pricey. I mean, that's until you got up into 100,000 copies of a disc. That was the reason why those discs were so expensive to press, was that freaking master. Which is also why I have been unable to get together the equipment I need to produce laser discs. I can't get anything that can produce the master. Yeah, I'm trying to build a pressing plant. I'm going to. I will eventually get enough money, and I'll hire people that used to work on these things to just build the shit from scratch, and the Laserdisc will return. That is my goal. It will happen. Don't worry, I'm not going to do anything that's going to damage the resale value of these bad boys. I'm going to go with Laserdisc EX, which was an abandoned format. Basically drops the two analog audio to give even better video resolution. So you get them equivalent DVDs, go ahead and do everything squeeze, that kind of thing. It'll just be an esoteric collector's format. Be kind of fun, right? If you think I'm crazy for that, you have no idea just how messed up my brain is as far as that kind of stuff. I've built computers from scratch. And I'm not saying like from parts. I'm saying wires, breadboards, solder, and chips. Yeah. So I can build anything, and I can repair anything too. So I've repaired several broken players that I get for 99 cents in some cases. I got a player for 99 cents from the thrift store because they tested it and it didn't even turn on. I opened it up and somebody had yanked on the power cord that had come disconnected from the back. Reconnected it, spliced it together, fixed it. Oh, boom! That is my CLD 501 I have in the living room. Wouldn't read discs after that. A quick cotton swab to the lens fixed that problem, and now it's a great single-sided player. Because it still has one more problem. The Epsilon turn needs some work. But I don't watch discs out in the living room very often, so I'm not too worried about that. But last disc in this little set, Lost Boys, another one of my favorite movies. This was a holy grail for me for a long time, and I was having a great amount of difficulty finding it. But finally, a pan and scan version popped up on the internet. Most of the widescreen versions of these I saw were sold for $30-$40. One pan and scan popped up, nobody wanted it. It went, the guy started the bidding at $20. The listing expired. So he relisted it at $4.99 with a $7.99 buy it now. I bought it now. Price was right. So I now have the Lost Boys on Laserdisc in my preferred aspect ratio, which people can give me shit for that all they want. I prefer widescreen on a widescreen TV. But I prefer pan and scan in a Laserdisc because it takes full advantage of the Laserdisc. That's why I like my Squeeze LD copy of Fugitive, even though I'm not that big of a fan of that movie. It just kind of drags to me. It's a good movie. I love Harrison Ford, but yeah. Oh, I should probably stop recording. I'm getting up to get more Laserdiscs.